Hey folks, this is the Fighting Nerd and his co-host, Jolly Roger. We have another knife review. Today we are going to be reviewing the Gil Hibben Tactical Assault Knife. Now before I show you the knife, I want to say two things about it. First, the name, Tactical Assault. In my opinion, that name was slapped on it for marketing purposes. I can't really call this a tactical knife. But then again, is there a real definition for a tactical knife? Pretty much no. You ask any 10 special operations cop guys or just ordinary cops and soldiers and ask them what a tactical knife is, you'll probably get 100 different answers. But there, in my opinion, this is really not something that you do tactical work with, but that depends on how you define what tactical work is. And second, it is distributed by United Cutlery. Now, Gil Hibben is a renowned knife maker. Of course, he didn't make this one himself. It was something he made himself. It would cost over $1,000, and I would not have one. But because he put his name on it, I'm betting he insisted that any of the knives with his names on it are leaps and bounds above the quality that you get from other United Cutlery products. It says United Cutlery nowhere on this knife. It says Gil Hibben, custom design on the knife. And I want to make this clear because if you are a knife person and you've probably heard of United Cutlery, and United Cutlery is renowned for making wall hangers. Wall hangers being a knife that looks pretty but really isn't good for anything. I have given United Cutlery a chance to prove me wrong about that 3 times, and all 3 times I got wall hangers that were made of 420 steel. The heat treat wasn't properly done. It was hard to sharpen, yet still brittle. They were just nightmares. But the Gil Hibben line, probably because Gil Hibben is a craftsman in the truest sense of the word and doesn't want his name to be associated with junk, this level of craftsmanship is far above normal United Cutlery knives. Of course, you pay a lot more for one of these than the United Cutlery knife. Now, my thing is, this knife is a dueling fighter. And here comes the knife finally. Here you go, folks. The Gil Hibben Tactical Assault Knife. But my thing is, this is more of a true fighting knife. I would call this a dueling fighter. It's a collectible, and it's really designed for collectors in a lot of ways. This is a very functional knife. It came very sharp. I haven't sharpened this. I will do the paper test here in a moment. It's a functional knife. You could use this as a hunting knife, or you could take this out in the field if you wanted to, as a police officer or a soldier or something like that. But you can just look at it. It is a true piece of art. It has a beauty coming from simplicity and an elegance coming from simplicity, which is what I look for in my knife designs. Okay. It comes with as a collectible, it comes with a certificate of authenticity that it is actually a Gil Hibben custom design. Again, he didn't actually make this. These are made in China. They're just made probably in a Chinese factory that turns out stuff that's a lot better than normal United Cutlery stuff. And with the specs on this, it is 7CR17 steel, 7.5-inch blade. As you can see, it is a sub-hilt. It is full tang. The pins that hold the handle on are nickel. Just under nickel something. nickel silver pins, and the hilt and subhilt are integral. So the fit and finish on this knife are perfect. Everything is snug. Everything is ground flush. As you can see, it's got a very nice satin finish. It gleams. I have not used this on my war post. My war post you can find out about on some of my other knife related videos. Because I did get this as a collector's piece. I do practice with this thing in forms, which means I'm basically slashing and poking air. But it is something that I got a lot of the ways for its looks. So this is not going to be striking the war post or anything else. I'm really not going to use this knife. I'm a collector. I bought this pretty much strictly as a collectible, and to practice non-impacting forms with just slashing air. Now, could you baton this through stuff? I think yes. It is. The steel is, the heat treat on this thing appears to be very solid, very good. It is very sharp. It's relatively thick. It is very robust. But it's just too doggone pretty to do that and to, slash at a big fence post or baton through anything. I have knives that I got to use. This is a knife, one of the few actually, that is just in my collection to be in the collection. It does come with a very nice leather sheath. This is real leather. It's got that leather smell. It fits the knife fits very snugly in the sheath. The snap holds it in without being too tight. It doesn't go anywhere and it doesn't rattle. The sheath is very well made. You don't have any threads hanging out. The threads are thick. It's got a spacer and a place for a light tie. But you'll notice that it's not MOLLE compatible, which also is something that I think they'd have a hard time selling this as a tactical knife. And aside from it, it's big and shiny. It's got this very nice textured pattern micarta handle. I don't know if you can see the patterning there. This is a work of art that you could use in the field. It is a functional knife if you need it to be, but I think the functionality is secondary, probably because Gil Hibben is a master craftsman and he is not going to make something that you cannot use. Now, if in some bizarro world I was forced to meet somebody on the field of honor and I had to do a knife-on-knife duel, this would be my go-to blade out of all the knives that I own. It would also probably serve me well in the zombie apocalypse. But having said that, it is a collectible. I've not touched the blade. I've not sharpened it. And there you go. I don't know if I got on camera or not, so we'll do it again. That was how it came out of the box. So the bottom line here, folks, is this is one of a very, very good knife, especially if you're collectible, if you're just collecting, and if you want a really good collectible knife that is expensive but not prohibitively expensive. This is it. I picked this up for about $50 on Amazon. So if you're starting a collection and you want a collectible that comes with a certificate of authenticity, I think I already showed that to you. And it must have fallen on the ground because I can't find it now. But it does come with a certificate of authenticity, and it has I don't know if you'll be able to see that on camera or not, but it does have kind of a Gil Hibben trademark on it. I don't think that's going to show up. But all in all, it's great. It's got a fantastic feel. It's very well balanced. It's got the sub hilt, and if you've watched any of my other videos, a lot of people haven't. You know I love sub hilts. Now the sub hilt is important not only for retention, but it also really aids in cutting technique, because you don't chop into it at a 90-degree angle. You go into a target, say a water bottle or whatever you're cutting. You want to knife it at a roughly 45-degree angle so you can draw the blade through and get a good deep cut. And this kind of acts, in my experience, as a fulcrum for that. It helps you get the right angle on your cuts. As you can see, it's got a nice clip point in line with the arm for thrusting. It does have an overlapping pommel if you're going to be doing some of the Kali hooks with the pommel. It's got a fighting guard, lanyard hole. So again, could you use this for field work? Could you use this for tactical, whatever tactics you may be employing? Yes, but primarily it is something to be collected. You know, now I plan to be around for another 25 or 30 years yet, so I'm going to have this for a while. But I have a nephew who I have turned into a knife guy. Well, he is probably going to inherit my collection, and I really hope he will be able to inherit this. That is my intention. This is just a thing of beauty. So I'm going to keep this video short. There's not a whole lot about to say. I do recommend this knife. Gil Hibben's knives, some of them are very Hollywood. He designs a lot of knives for movies. And they have spikes and useless protrusions hanging all over them to make them all look like they came out of a, devil worshipping zombie bikers wildest fantasy. But this gets its beauty from its simplicity. It is just an elegant piece of knife design. So I leave you, as I always do when I make a video such as this, with the admonition, I'm going to not say that word today, with the plea to draw your knives only in just purpose and sheath them only with honor. This is the Fighting Nerd, and I bid you good night.